Hey Taurus, welcome in to your video, guys. Let's see what's going on here for you and see what your situation is. All right, we're definitely doing the second week of December, which is pretty much Monday the 8th up until that Sunday. All right, what's the situation for Taurus, please? And sorry, guys, this video is kind of late. Yes, it is. Sorry about that. I was on a road trip and I just got here. All right. We're back into my mini studio here. The Hangman and the Four Swords. All right, so you're in a hanging position, meaning like, I want to say purgatory, but not purgatory because you're healing wherever you are, right? You're in this weird gray stuck area, this energy. I'm feeling like the sadness, the guilt, the regret, the replaying things over in our mind, trying to see something from a different perspective, another point of view. You're getting lost in your emotional thoughts, right? And also in the interim, this is also where you are on the precipice of either healing from it or letting it destroy you, all right? Because it's just kind of like one of those things where you're letting it affect you now, like your whole entire life. So hopefully we'll see more when we clarify, and I hope that's not the case. But personally for me, Taurus, I truly believe that the way through something, like through a problem would be, you know, if you're kind of going through hell, you keep going and you see it to the end, because it's one of those things that you could sweep it under the rug, but it'll come back to haunt you and bite you. I also believe it's just the way the planets and the stars are aligning for you as part of your process of growing and learning, because you're going to be very prosperous in the world of love and relationships 2026. And this is part of the teaching you program, right? We'll see. So you also have these Five of Cups at the back of the deck. You have abundance to work with, but instead of turning around and saying to yourself, oh, I can make a whole new life, a whole ass new life with those two cups. But if you're choosing to look at the life that you already built and it's gone or it's falling apart and shedding, that's the place you don't want to get stuck. It's one of those things where you kind of got to compartmentalize and be like, all right, this is the second half of my new life. I'm so excited. Let me look at those two cups again. Now, what's coming in towards my Taurus, please? What's coming in the second week of December? And I think you're right on point. You're right on par with your monthly, because as a timeline, I see that you're going in the right direction, as you should. Yep, Wheel of Fortune. This is when three fates work on your behalf to move the dial of your life forward so it doesn't stagnate, so you don't repeat a cycle, so you don't get stuck. They say, hey, you know what? Why don't we just show Taurus the way it works, right? Us fates, your life is moving forward. So when you're here, you're like, okay, I got this game of life. I know exactly what I need to do. But then you go through this trial and this trial and this trial and this trial and this hurdle and this hurdle. And you're like, oh God, I feel like shit. Here I am at the bottom. But then you keep going and then you realize that is the game of life. You will always have ups. You will always have downs. But the universe will find ways to open doors, windows, and opportunities for you all the time if you just roll with the wheel. Now, with that said, there's a King of Cups here. It's in the cross. This is Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. They don't have to be a water sign, but they sure as hell tell me this person's emotionally mature and available. I see them in the cross position, which means they're in the back of your mind. This is part of the agenda. This is part of your process. They are part of your journey in moving your life forward, okay? Seven of Pentacles, you're pausing and reflecting on the time and energy of something you built right here versus taking that rose, planting it over there and creating a new garden. You could do that, right? But you're thinking about it. Let's continue. What is it Taurus doesn't see coming? Surprise for Taurus. What's the surprise in the midweek or during the week? What's the surprise? This surprise could come on Tuesday or Friday. King of Swords. Well, hello, person number 2. Incoming energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. And the Lovers. You know what I'm going to say to you? Lovers is not your spouse. They're not your boyfriend or your girlfriend. They're not even people you're introducing to other people in your family. They're people you have in the shadows because you don't know what they're going to be in your future. But I'll tell you what, Archangel Michael said you are definitely going to meet. Maybe it's for a season. Maybe it's for a reason. Could they be your lesson or are they your blessing? You have to choose despite your odds. And I always make this comment where, you know how we see in the movies, like these romantic movies, and you see how like these couples go through hell and back, but then they fight for each other, come hell or high water. Those are the odds. Despite those, to choose one another. Yeah, even if someone's married, do you both leave those spouses to go with your person? So those are one of those things where you're being triggered by another individual for a reason or a season, a lesson or a blessing. This King of Swords, they don't have to be air sign, but this is somebody that doesn't really scream the I love yous, or they're very much in their head, deciding what to do. And that's your lover. What is the advice here for Taurus, please? Ace of Wands. Some of you have the opportunity to go towards a passionate new beginning with a person, as in a hot, spicy, could be relationship, while others you have a passion project. It is in the advice. Spirit is saying go for it. And it may or may not work out. It doesn't matter. But when it's in the advice position, it's a destined thing that you should not discount. Now, also, aces are opportunities. What you make of them is what you will, right? And I mean your free will. So you can take this and hustle it. But being that it's in your advice position, I certainly will. Whether you think it's like, doesn't mean anything, you could be wrong. You could be meeting somebody through them. You could be getting some sort of opportunity through them, or it can open your eyes to another certain situation you never would have seen otherwise or differently. Oh, shit. A lot of you, it is a project that will lead to a solid new job or a solid new relationship. Let's continue and see what's going on here. What is the outcome of the week? Some of you, it's a reconciliation and not necessarily with the person that you're thinking of. Hermit, here's where it gets interesting. Include what I just told you. The Hermit, Virgo energy there. Judgment is Saggy, the world is Sag. And Pisces, the Hangman. Now, you're lying low to make a wise choice and a decision. The Empress behind it, you're thinking of your worth and your value, and you're saying to yourself, my wish fulfillment, my desires, what are those, right? So perhaps you're having a reconciliation with somebody that either you're making a judgment call on, and then you're just going to complete this chapter and move on. Well, me personally, this is what I think. I think you're making a judgment call on something or someone that might not even be the same person as you're having a reconciliation with. Does that make sense? Like some of you could be making a judgment call on your marriage, reconciling perhaps with the lover or someone else. Others of you, maybe you are reconciling with them. We'll see when I clarify. But here's why it makes me feel this way. Because of the World card. The World card says that's a wrap, folks. This is done. On to the new thing. On to the next chapter of our lives, right? It's something that you finished dealing with, and now you're going to create a new chapter. Let us continue and see what is going on. You know what? I'm feeling this deck. Taurus, please. All right, I do have to do one thing too. Let me just look at these cards really quickly because you do have a few court cards. some changing in life, and some new opportunities. Those of you that are older and retired, let me see how I can put this in perspective for you. You're healing from a family dynamic, could be with your children or ex or whatever. Some of you could be literally healing from a surgery, something in regards to that. The King of Cups, there's somebody here that's going to help you, the King of Cups, to help you change something in your life. There are two people that you guys are definitely dealing with. Your advice, someone's going to give you an opportunity to do some kind of project or thing that you'll be excited about. And I'm talking about, like, I don't know, painting a mural, or I don't know, creating some sort of music lyrics. You get my point. And for a lot of you, I think this has a lot to do with you finding some new thing about yourselves, right? And that you're closing out the past. You're no longer beating the shit out of yourself over, what had happened in your past relationships with, friends and family. You're making those judgment calls and you're letting it go. Bygones be bygones. Close this chapter out. Let's reconcile. Let's fix this shit. All right? This is for my older group, my 60s, 70s, and 80s people. Because I got your comments. Don't worry, I hear you. And I know, and I'm sorry that I try to read for the group or the cohort that Spirit has me wanting to read for. Alrighty. Four of Swords, Page of... no, the Hangman, sorry. Clarify. The Four of Wands in reverse, absolutely. So now it's 2 4s. So everybody, you're discerning adults, you know where the story applies in your life. This is no longer putting down roots. This is no longer upgrading. This is breaking up like a marriage, a commitment, no longer going forward, not putting down roots, not, applying yourself to the career you used to have, something like that, and you're healing, all right? So there's no going forward. You stop working towards this foundation. I do see an Emperor in reverse back here. That's like breaking up with somebody, or somebody that's a manipulator, actually. And you're like, I'm done with that. Now, the King of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. All right, the Chariot, Cancer energy, and the High Priestess in reverse, which is Pisces energy. See, with this Wheel of Fortune, I'm telling you, you've been triggered, Taurus, by certain events in your life, so your life could move. It wasn't moving. It was fucking stagnating, and for years. But here's the good news. The last 6 months, you've been mentally processing, okay, now what if I did change? What if I did pull the trigger? What if I did leave? What if I did move? What if I did change careers? You're doing the what ifs, right? So, the High Priestess in reverse, maybe there was a person here, if I was to put it in literal context, you weren't talking, now you're talking. Now you guys are starting to communicate again, right? And this person is like trying to emotionally be available now, right? That's because all of these events, the other person is like, oh shit, Taurus is actually serious. They're actually going to leave. They're not all talk, and no show, right? They're like, oh, that's what Taurus always says, and they never do anything. They don't do anything about it. Well, you're doing something about it, but now it's also too late. Let me see what else. Others of you, if this is job or work related, you're definitely getting this passion project. It's exciting. You're definitely focused on something. Ace of Wands. Others of you, and this is karma correction. This is justice coming in. But I will say this. Some of you, this is a divorce. But it didn't fall out on the table, so it's not the second week. What is the King of Swords? So maybe you're talking about it. Wow, I knew it. All right. So there's somebody, a lot of you, whoever you're in love with or whoever you're thinking about, that you started some sort of relationship together, it's mutual. All right. It's definitely mutual. Whoever you have like deep feelings for. Because this King of Swords in the next position where you don't see it coming, they come a talking to you. And they come and say, I want to have a heart to heart conversation face to face. Two of Cups. They feel the same way about you as you feel about them, regardless if you shared the I love yous. Maybe this could be it. I do see this Aries now back here, which is in the upright position. They don't have to be an Aries sign, but someone bosses up. I was going to use another word, but I was like, no, don't be gross. Somebody bosses up. And you do leave something that no longer emotionally supports you. Because let me show you some shit. Here's your Emperor. You walk away from this thing where you're emotionally dry. It's just dead, dies, death. And then hello, Empress. Let's bring back the Emperor. Power couple. All right, what's the Ace of Wands? I feel like, Taurus, your readings are getting better and better. I really do. I'm super hopeful. This is not like, these are big moves. I like this. What is the Ace of Wands here for Taurus, please? Wow, this King of Swords came out again twice. All right, so, obviously for some of you, I'm going to be specific and direct because the cards are specific and direct. This King of Swords, if they're very much in their head and they're not screaming the I love yous, they could be possibly breadcrumbing you. That's why you have a passionate new beginning with them, because this is just physical. This is just intimacy. This is passion and excitement. But what's it past that, right? That's why you get the breadcrumbs. We breadcrumb people because we don't know what we're going to do with them. We're like, do we commit with them? Are we not committing with them? Are they just, passerbyers? Who knows, right? But Spirit's like, you need to wait for these ships to come in. You, I guess, gotta play, the waiting game. My older crowd. You're no longer investing in something. And that could be anything between an investment, quite literally, your physical health, in some kind of thing you were doing, or a relationship with someone. You're like, I don't see it. And then, but there's a thing that you're very focused on, but you're not using your intuition, especially when it comes to this person. I don't know. There's something about them that got you off. And then there's this other King of Swords over here who does know how to chat you up quite well. And you do care about them as they care about you. That's interesting. What is the outcome? Your advice? Have fun with whatever this is. But it looks like someone's begging for your attention or you are begging for theirs. Saying, give it a minute. Now, the World card, Judgment, and Three of Cups. The Empress. The Moon, Pisces, Taurus, and the Four of Cups in reverse. Okay, so when somebody comes forward to reveal some information to you, Taurus, you're just sitting there pretty, right? You're just sitting there hot and gorgeous. Men too. Because you know what you want to bring into this world, and you know that you've got the capability of doing so. But when somebody comes forward and tells you some sort of truth, if there was, this is a runner-chaser dynamic for me. This is like, unrequited love. But now you're looking at them like, maybe not. Maybe this could be something. Of course, it doesn't have to be you. It could be them. This King of Swords perhaps is now looking at you like, oh my God, I can finally just kind of put my ex and my past to bed. And because Taurus is like my new thing, maybe I'm looking at them a little differently now, a little bit more serious, right? Because you're just sitting there doing you, being an empress. And this is why we have reconciliation. Because somebody does a U-turn, right? And it brings wish fulfillment and desire. Second week is quite fascinating. Let's see what we're going to talk about in the extended for the love group. Wedding and make the effort. All right, this involves marriage. Someone's married or someone wants to get married. We'll see when we deep dive and clarify. And make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you are guided to take. Do you remember when I was talking to you about the movie? Despite the odds, despite whatever's going on in your external worlds, do you move worlds for you two to be together? That's what this card is saying. Okay. And let's get one more card from, I like Wisdom House of Night. For you guys, Wisdom House of Night from my Taurus, please. High Priestess of Spirit and Hope. Oh, I love this. Okay. Let's do Hope because I always like to talk about hope, as is the name of the channel. That's what Elpis means. It's the root word for hope. All right. When you choose the symbol of hope, know that no matter what temporary setbacks there may be in your life right now, light will return again. When the moon is hidden in the darkest forest, it's hard to see where your next step is, and it's easy to give in to the fear that there will never be safety again. I'm here to guide you when you have lost your way, whispering you to maintain faith and good things will come your way once more. Take one step towards your dreams, and I will take 2 steps towards you to help you achieve it. Have hope, and only good will come of it. I love that. And the other one is High Priestess of Spirit. High Priestess of Spirit is you using the energy of, say, an air sign, which being fair, being balanced, being honest with yourself, making sure you're fair and honest to all parties involved in your life. Make sure your karma correct. You can borrow these energies. Also, with the High Priestess of Spirit, it also says that you truly have the power right now to ask your spirit guides for help and guidance and to send you signs, right? To light up your path if you're going on the right path or direction, especially when you're struggling through some tough choices. All right, so this is what I got for you guys this week. I hope this helped, and I'll see you on the next one.